I'm a big fan of real maple syrup, but I'll admit that it has its limitations. It's great for pouring over waffles and pancakes, but because it's so runny, I can't enjoy that maple flavor on everything I'd like to, like toast, or scones, or crackers, or a peanut butter sandwich. You get the idea. Wouldn't it be great if there were a firmer, more spreadable form of maple? Well, there is. Maple cream. Maple cream is just maple syrup that's been cooked to a high temperature, then cooled a bit, then beaten with a spoon until it forms a thick mass of crystals that are so tiny that your tongue doesn't really recognize them as crystals. Your tongue just recognizes maple cream as smooth and thick and delicious. It's a really simple recipe because it has just 3 ingredients: maple syrup, a pinch of salt, and a few drops of oil. And really, the oil and salt are optional. You'll notice I didn't say that making maple cream was easy, though. That's because the stirring part can get a bit strenuous. In fact, it's actually not a bad idea to make maple cream in tandem with another maple fan. That way, you can switch off on the stirring if your arm gets tired. On the other hand, that means you'll have to share. Just a note, for the surest results, use grade A maple syrup here. Grade B doesn't always set up properly. Before you start heating the maple syrup, you'll need to prepare an ice bath. To do this, set a medium saucepan in a bowl of ice and scatter more ice around the sides of the pan. You don't have to add any water because the ice will start to melt as soon as you pour the hot syrup into the saucepan. In a second medium saucepan, place 3 cups of grade A maple syrup, and if you like, 1/4 teaspoon of vegetable oil and a pinch of salt. The oil will keep the foam down during boiling, and the salt balances the sweetness of the syrup a bit. Bring this to a boil over medium heat. You really want to keep an eye on the syrup once it's boiling. If you get overconfident and walk away, I promise you that the syrup is going to take offense and boil over just to teach you a lesson. Cook the syrup without disturbing it until the temperature registers 235 degrees. This will take about 16 to 18 minutes. I usually continue to heat and monitor the temperature for another 60 seconds after the thermometer hits 235, just to make sure the whole pan is hot enough. Now quickly pour the hot syrup into the saucepan with the prepared ice bath and let it cool without stirring for about 15 minutes. Once the syrup has cooled to about 100 degrees, remove the saucepan from the ice bath and start stirring the syrup with a wooden spoon. Think of this as a marathon, not a sprint. Speed isn't as important as maintaining a constant, steady pace. Probably about 5 or 10 minutes into the stirring part, you're going to think to yourself, really? I couldn't just do this in a stand mixer? I strongly recommend that you resist the urge, not only because I consider stirring by hand to be a point of honor, but also because there's a chance you'll burn out your mixer's motor, and that would be an expensive mistake to make. Over time, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, the syrup starts to lighten in color. This is the crystal structure starting to form. My arm is usually getting a bit tired at this point, so I'm always cheered by this. It means that the maple cream is about halfway there. When it starts to lose its shine and feel like a thick but pourable batter and is the color of tahini, you can stop stirring. Working quickly, it's only pourable for about 30 seconds. Use a rubber spatula to scrape the cream into a clean jar. And there you go, homemade maple cream. You can find this and over 100 other recipes in the America's Test Kitchen DIY cookbook. There's everything in here from how to make granola bars to marshmallows to beef jerky. It's really cool stuff, so check it out.